Hello Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. Well, it's August, we are Friday, and the markets have actually put in a pretty good performance, but I want to start off with a stock, Kinder Morgan. It's an energy stock, and it's sort of screaming, saying, buy me, buy me. Symbol for that stock is KMI. You can see that right here. And this is the last 3 months of the stock. You can see we had a nice move up. We've come back down almost a little over 50%, but the interesting thing is, if you look at our trade triangles, they're all green, every one of them. The original buy signal was 1931. It's going to trade at 2011, but we've also just popped back up over the 50 line. So the trend is up. The major trend is up. This is unusual because a lot of energy stocks are actually sideways to lower. And I think this is sort of an indication. Now, the question is, how high has this stock been in the past? Well, if we go to a maximum look in the stock, you can see we've been all the way up to around $45, and that was on April 2015, so a little over a year ago. So potentially we could see this market pop back up, I think, to maybe the 30s or even higher from where we are right now. So you've got a nice chance to make a 50% return on this capital if we're right. Now, if we're wrong, and that's the important thing to remember when you're trading, you want to have a stop just below this level right here. That's the level we're looking at, is 1946. So if it goes below 1946, I would say just exit the position and we'll reanalyze that. But for now, it looks to me like we're trying to make a turn. We may go sideways for a little while longer, but generally speaking, we can see this market going higher. So let's just put our Fibonacci numbers in. Easy to do with Market Club. Right click there and drag to the lows, and you can see right in this sort of 50% pullback line. We've sort of tested the original buy point with our trade triangles. You can see the weekly kicked in here, and it just looks like it wants to move higher, and that's what we're looking at. So this is a stock that's standing out. All the trade triangles are green, so it's a definite go. We're above the 50 line, which is also a go. So let's see how that plays out. Kinder Morgan, KMI, that's the stock we're looking at. Looking at gold, this is spot gold. Spot gold is actually higher for the week, which is interesting. And I think the important thing is the major trend in gold is still very positive. Last week we closed in spot gold at approximately $1,351, $1,351. That was 0.8% higher for the week. And I think if we can get this market to just move over these highs right here, that would be the 1367, 1368, somewhere like that. I think this is going to look very good on a weekly closing basis. But we are above the 50 line in the RSI, so the trend is your friend. Still very positive on gold. Watch this market to go higher, but we like the way this is shaping up. I would not like to see it fail here because that potentially could be a double top, but nonetheless, we're not overbought and we are over the 50 line. So let's see how that plays out, and let's see how it closes for the week. I'm expecting to see potentially new highs, at least over these last 3 days today. So let's see how that plays out. We're looking at crude oil. This is a September contract of crude oil. You can see that right here, traded on the NYMEX. You can see our last signal to get short was right here, 45.64, which we've outlined in our comments today. And we covered that yesterday at 41.88 for a very nice profit. See, the market's a little bit higher today, but for the week, it's actually about flat. It's up about 0.24% for the week. And I think that's an important thing to remember. So some of the downward momentum may be over with in this market. We scope this out further. You can see that it has had, let's take all of these trade triangles off, we don't need them to show this, but you can see we've sort of come back a little bit more than 50% perhaps, but let's just scope this in a little bit further. There we go. So let's just, I think we were looking at we scoped this down. You can see we just went past the 61.8%. It happens, but we've snapped back up, and let's see how that plays out. But generally speaking, Kinder Morgan is on its own axis. It's really trading the way it should be trading independently, but it would be certainly helped if we see a bounce in crude oil, say back to the 46 levels. So let's see how that plays out. We're looking at the Dow index, the 30 industrials, and you can see this is a huge base we have built up here, really large base, and it is capable, I think, of taking this market higher, or something's going to happen in the interim that we don't know about. But generally speaking, you look at this base, it's sort of broken out right around here, And this is a pretty large base for it to move up. So it's not unusual to have a sharp move once we've broken through a level of resistance and pull back, kind of back to support, back to the 50 line right here. So we should be finding support in the industrials for the moment. We are down about 0.44% for the week, pretty much flat, nothing going on there. So let's see how next week shapes up. But generally speaking, I do not want to be short this market at this juncture. Pretty much the same picture in the S&P 500. You can see we've broken over resistance, sort of stabilized here for the week. We're down about 4.43% for the week. Not a big deal. We've had some nice gains, of course, but let's see how that plays out. All of our trade triangles, the most important ones, the weekly and the monthly, are green. Only the daily is down, indicating a little loss of momentum, that's all. But generally speaking, the trend is up in this index. Lastly, looking at the NASDAQ, you can see the NASDAQ has cleared. We do have a monthly. We do have our trade triangles in place. The only one would be, of course, the daily, which is a little loss of momentum. But nonetheless, the trend is clearly up right now. We do have a little bit of resistance back here. That was in July, in the July period of 2015. But generally speaking, we have cleared some obstacles in this market. And let's see how things look for next week. But for the week, basically flat in the NASDAQ. Key thing is today, watch Kinder Morgan. We think that could be a real big treat for us. And watch how it closes today. If it closes up towards its highs, I would suggest getting long. Hey, I'm Adam Hewison from Market Club. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great trading day today and a really even more successful weekend.